I picked a frequency before I got on this screen, and I was still caught off guard when it started beep beep booping. So today's going to be a little different. This is a psychic training video, I decided, but like the training might be a little bit more extensive today. Like I'm going to have some things to talk about. Let me show y'all this first. My first clue. So since Sag season started, I noticed my energy was a little not sad or anything, like my mood was fine, but my thoughts were heavier. My energy was heavier. Like, and how can you tell when your energy is heavy, right? When you go to sit, like in a meditation, right? They always tell you, feel yourself within your body, right? When you go to relax and like sit into your energy, you can tell how dense or how light your energy is. Most of the time when I go to tap into my own energy and I lock in with me, afterwards I'm like, it is such a relief to be me. Totally all right. But when I was tapping in, I wasn't I wasn't feeling that. I was feeling like heaviness, head, shoulders, knees, and toes heaviness, right? So I spent the last couple of days allowing myself to rest because that felt needed. And this morning when I got up, I cleaned my space and I did my healing stuff, like my incense, turn on my humidifier, my bowl, just make sure all my stuff is clean, right? But what got my attention is I kept getting drawn to my algorithm on YouTube, because y'all know that's where my videos, my suggestions. It was like, rid yourself of heavy energy. All right. So I sat through that and I'm like, okay, God, I need some guidance. So I went and took a shower. I love the shower because it is like the conduit. I'm starting to feel like it's my confessional. Like when I get in the shower, suddenly all the stuff that I was worried about, all the thoughts that were like on my, what's the word I want to use? My mental highway, right? Everything that was crashing sort of cleared up because I can only hear one one voice in there, right? So the ascension thing was correct. The ascension process is you starting to purge all of the unnecessary things. So they have to come to a boil, if you will. So I'm like, all right, cool. Upgrading. You feel more tired. Uh, your mind is going through all the stuff that needs to be cleared, like out your cookies, pretty much. But when I was in there, I started hearing like emotional dumping. Emotional is dumping is when you have a homegirl or something and she writes you and she's like, hey, I feel like crap today. And then they proceed to tell you what they feel crap about. They have just put all their negative emotions on you, right? Whatever the case be, this happens to everybody. When somebody comes to you, even for advice, or they just talk to you and that's their energy, it starts to compile in your field. And I do regular healing stuff for myself, like every day just to get into this job. But I did not realize I need to put a barrier up, period. So right now we're listening to a Reiki, which is energy healing, to restore inner peace and emotional balance. I have been taking on, and this is what came to me in the shower, taking on so much emotional vomit from other people that it started throwing off my natural balance, like my pH, my spiritual pH was being thrown off and I had to do things differently. So I'm like, okay, I'm still carrying over some people pleasing energy from my childhood. My children, my parents had me as teenagers. Their relationship only lasted 2 years. So when their relationship dissipated, I was like the remnant that was sort of strange for them. They would have been better if they never had to talk to each other again after the breakup. So in order for me, not even, a child, just adapting to the situations and things I'm noticing, in order for me to exist without feeling like a leftover burden, I just made myself very handy, very useful, very funny, right? So I adapted people pleasing behavior early in order to not feel like a burden. that has rolled over into my friendships, my relationships, and everywhere that was an issue. So much so that this is not the first time I'm dealing with a heaviness in my energy that is not my own heaviness. But this is the first time that I am able to dig in and to pull it up from the root. That is the beauty of the uncomfortable ascension process. You are pulling out your root issues. And you see, as we're sitting here, the root short is on here and the release negative energy. Little stuff like that is another way that your higher self is sending you a message. Mine's is saying, heal and raise your vibration. So along with that will come new boundaries. I kept hearing while I was in there, your fears are limiting you. Fear cannot go where you're going. Old keys do not open new doors. And that this message would appeal to a lot of people today because everybody went through a different version of this. That's why I can do collective messages, because I get one message that is appealing to many different people in different ways. And so the most important thing for me to do now is to be a output more than an input, or I'm going to burn myself out. I'm like, dang. So what am I supposed to do about that, God? Teach, Aisha. You are a teacher. Your soul is that of a teacher. I'm like, what? You know, see, look, I look all tired and shit today. But once I sat through listening all of that, I was like, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense. On a regular basis, I'm cheerful. And when I think about why people talk to me or what people say on a regular basis, it's that the majority of my stress comes from so many people needing me for different things or pulling on my energy. And this is even family members. And then I'm like, when they talk to me, there's always a, I'm so happy you talked to me. You're so funny. I missed you. What I did not discern, or I wasn't using my gift of discernment in, is that some people do need you. And they need to have you around on occasion, just a little sprinkle to help them carry on and whatnot, right? But there are some people who will use it up like a supply. Like, oh my goodness, I have to talk to her all the time because it just makes me feel better. And that is where the boundary needed to come in, or the discernment, the recognition. And I got to change some stuff up. So I came in here. Like at first, originally, what I thought I was doing today was an uprising video, right? And I still might be, but I think I'm doing two today. One will be psychic training. But I just got into this and I'm like, all right, now that we have went through the process of deciding what we want and looking at what we have now, everything in your life is going to start moving around to make your manifestation come true. This is the uncomfortable part. This is the hard part of the uprising. I thought by this point, look at me surprised too. Like, I got your ass, Aisha. That's how the universe is all the time. So I was thinking one time we got to week 7, I'd be like, all right, you're starting to see some progress now. The progress that you're seeing is the fact that there is a part of you now that knows what you want for yourself is out there, and it can no longer keep up or keep the mask or the patterns that are the behavior that will not get you there. Uprising week 7. I just knew this was going to be a psychic training video. It's tricks. So I'll have to do a psychic training one separately. So now that I get the gag, okay. Uprising video 7. Now that you have wrote down what you wanted, manifestation time. Stretch outside your box. Magic wouldn't be as sought after or as unique or special if it was easy, right? There's some difficulty that comes with this. And the difficulty is in the dismantling of what was. Now that we have written everything out, life is about to bulldoze everything out the way that is not in alignment with that. And you have to decide if you are willing to surrender to the process and start moving with it. Because last week we discussed working on a routine. Now, this week, you actually got to start getting that routine in, or recognizing the blockages to your manifestation, which feels like the theme of this video. Recognizing what is trying to stop you internally or externally from getting on the vibration that is a match with that dream that we wrote out in video number 5. During the Uprising video last week, it opened the floodgates to a whole bunch of the ideas. Like, I need to do this every day. I need to do this. I need to have this as my schedule. And it was written out. But as soon as that happened, and I was like, all right, let's get it. All the blockages came up. Mom, I need this. Or this needs to be handled over here. Or this bill and this, that. This, that. So all of that contributed to feeling the weight. But in this moment, I'm feeling like you needed to understand the weight of what was stopping you from doing this before. Because there's a part of you that was feeling guilty about not being where you needed to be in life or where you thought you should be in life. In order to step into your blessings, you have to recognize the burdens and the shadows and all the negativity things that held you from reaching it in the first place. And then you can look at what you overcame and use that as a source of power. Because it could have been way worse. You could have been a statistic. How many people have been through what you have been through and they have not overcome? Because they have definitely been shown to you on the journey as a part of this mirror experience here. You even going through this process and trying to do better for yourself is something that some people don't even get to. They become set in their ways or set in their patterns and set in the way that their life is. They stop dreaming. If you are here with me, you have not stopped dreaming and you have not given up on yourself yet. And because of that, there is a reward on the other side. But right now, you are officially in the trenches. Because you want to do better, you have to push through this. And I hate to use the term initiation, just like everything here is an initiation. All of the pieces that were blocking you ahead of time. So I need to use this. Okay. What does the group watching this Uprising video number 7 need to know? Lucky number 7. This is the breakthrough. That's what I'm getting. This is the breakthrough. How bad do you want it? I love this so much. Coming to life. Spark, right? Make a choice. Do you really want, went on blurry. Do you really want what you just wrote down for yourself? You just gave, based on your Uprising notebook, what you wrote down, you just gave yourself a blueprint for what you wanted going forward. How, if you knew that it was guaranteed that you would get what you wrote down on that paper, would you fight for it? Despite everything right now that looks nothing like the life you're manifesting for yourself. This is your opportunity to make a choice. Are you going to be so caught in your old patterns that you drown? Or are you willing to do the hard work that is breaking through those and saying uncomfortable things, doing uncomfortable things that are very different from what you've been doing before in order to use this opportunity to come to life? This little bit of hope, this little bit of spark that all of this was meant to be, giving you the opportunity to use your magic. So this is a crossroad right now. Some people won't even make it to this video. I didn't even look at the number count or worry about how many people are watching it, whatever. I just do what I am told because I'm realizing that's the best way to go about this. Surrender. Surrender with faith. So how can I explain faith? I can explain gratitude immediately in 2 different examples because I've had to learn how to understand that myself. So you have been on a road trip for 3 hours. You're having a blast, listening to your favorite songs. You've been drinking, you've been snacking. It is a great ride. But about 2 hours in, you're like, oh, yep, that drink caught me. But y'all are in a place where there is no exit. You got to ride for at least another 90 minutes before y'all get to a bathroom. Or you can turn around and only have to go an hour but you're gonna have to start over and lose all the progress you had, right? So you gotta suck it up. You gotta hold it. You are rocking, you are rolling, you are trying. It seems like it's almost over. You get mad. You're mad at everything. You're mad at the driver. You're mad at the car for not going fast enough. You're mad about the fact that nobody put a bathroom on this route. But then through all this complaining and anger and stuff, you held it, you held on, and then you pull up to the gas station. You don't even wait till y'all are fully parked. You hopping out, right? Going to the bathroom. There's a little bit of a line. You are losing your shit. You are rocking. You don't know if you're gonna make it. But just when you feel like it's almost over, a stall becomes empty. You go in there, you barely make it. Like your pants down where they need to be. It's a clusterfuck right now. This is the energy, right? But when you sit on that toilet or you whip that thing out, the relief that comes when you finally let go of what you've been holding, that is gratitude. That feeling when you finally get to that toilet. Oh my God, thank you. That is gratitude. That's how you lock into the feeling of gratitude. Everybody has had that situation in some way, shape, or form. My other example for that is you stayed after school for a project. Your parent was supposed to pick you up. It was cute when it was 10 minutes and you were still talking to your friends. It was even okay when it was 30 minutes and you were just watching cars go by and stuff. But it is now 45 minutes after the time that you were supposed to be picked up and you are getting antsy. There are no other students. The teacher's starting to leave. It's getting a little chilly outside. Like, where is my parent? You're mad. You're thinking about all the other times your parent done stood you up. All these negative thoughts going through your head. But as soon as they pull up, you hop in that car and you're salty for a second, but you're so happy to be in that car that all the stuff that you was just thinking about doesn't even matter no more. It was just for that moment. That is also a form of gratitude. Now, what I can give y'all for faith or trust is think about a time when you thought there was no way out of a situation, when you just knew this was not going to go in your favor, when you had all of those negative thoughts, like the ones that I was just talking about. And think about how God proved you wrong. Think about a time that you thought there was no way that something was going to pan out, and you just knew it was over. And then everything worked out. Now, when you think of that, there are probably several examples that come to you because you've been living, and there are constantly times when we doubt. But use that as your basis for trust. A time where you didn't know how, when, where, and a miracle. Somebody came out of nowhere, just really changed everything up, and then the problem wasn't a problem anymore. That was meant to be a seed planted in you for what you're about to go through. When you start doubting, think about, I can't even doubt, because the last time that happened, it was solved. Because sometimes we're giving too much energy to worry, too much energy to fear. We were not created with the spirit of fear. That was put on us based upon the times when something you wanted didn't go away. But I wrote down this today. Every redirection or rejection is protection if you're selected. Yes, I've been writing out like little, okay, guys, speak, right? And I also watched this movie called Honk for Jesus. And it was supposed to be a comedy. I thought I was going to laugh, but I ended up crying. Like, no, I was very triggered, but it was about like the first lady of the church and her husband that was really like a shady character. But when I just looked at this, it made me think about like first lady stuff again. I don't know what I'm being prepared for necessarily. I know what I had on the list, right? We talked about it, my castle. Let me show y'all this, right? At the end of my life, I want a home, or even before the end of my life, because I want to enjoy it. But I just want something that is going to last beyond my time here. Something that if I reincarnate in this plane again, I'm born into the castle that I had created in this life, and I just get to grow up there in my little secret garden home. 2 days ago, I got a confirmation that I was on the right path. You're building a castle that will safeguard you and those you love forever. And the rest of it said, you'll be a testament to how for other peoples to believe in their faith and to work their magic. And I was like, dang, I would have to be very stuck or stubborn and disrespectful to not acknowledge all the signs that I have beginning outside of myself that it is possible. You have to fight for what you want. You have to fight. And my bun falling out. You have to fight for your positive manifestation, because everything here wants to keep you in hell realm. Everything here feeds off of that fear, but not God. Coming to life, spark feeds off of light and faith. And on this card where it says making a choice, look at it. We got one light side and then we got one dark side. So during this phase, when all the stuff that you need to move around in order to make your manifestation happen comes up, keep choosing you. Keep choosing faith. Keep choosing gratitude. Oh, sorry, nose running comes along with this too. So the way that you go, the route you take, is based upon the decisions you make in your mind first. I'm finding comfort in saying, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know I have set the goal. And all I need to do is follow the part of me that is positive in order to get there. Following my negative thoughts, I can absolutely say has never led me anywhere positive. It is not good. Some of that stuff is like self-manifesting, or you ignoring your intuition. Like, oh, this ain't gonna go right, but it's your intuition. Like, baby, this ain't gonna go right, as opposed to the last time this happened, such and such. That's you making it happen. That's called catastrophizing, predicting bad things for yourself. Why would we do that now when we know that our thoughts can create amazing things for us as well? And if you can't do either, if you just start with ground zero, clear your mind and go with that faith and gratitude thing. Allow source, allow the universe, allow God to amaze you. Say, I don't know where I'm going right now, but I know that I wrote down that I need to do this. So every day, this is what I'm going to try to do. Even if a million things come up, if I can only do one or two things on this list, I know over time, if I'm consistent and trying, I will break through. Don't kick your own ass. Life is doing that enough. Don't stop trying. And that was the main thing I got during Scorpio season. Even if you mess up one day, mess up 2 days, mess up for a week. I went back to smoking. I was so stressed during Scorpio season. I'm good again now, but like that was rough. But I'm not gonna say, oh, well, I fell off the wagon. Let me just go back to smoking and throw all my progress away. No. Here I am today, and I'm not gonna smoke it. I'm not gonna smoke again tomorrow. And I'm just gonna keep trying and start from there. The race doesn't stop just because you fall down. And you don't have to lose the race. Especially when the race is you getting to your own finish line. You're the only one going for that particular line. There is no other competition in your lane when you're in your lane. There's nobody else there. So you can take as long as is needed. And the moments that you need to be gassed or pushed along, that's when God kicks in and just, not been holding this. Fast forward. When you need to hop, it'll kick in. So right now, this video was just a little in-between fuel I'm getting to help you understand that as soon as you identify what you want, you say what you want to have in your highest regard, all the stuff that blocks you from that is going to come up so you can knock it out one at a time. And if you are going with faith over fight, God will fight your battle for you. Just wake up and make yourself available. That's what I'm getting. Don't give up on your plan. You have set the destination. Keep your eye locked on that destination, and everything else outside of that, temporary. It's like gnats. Temporary. They'll die in 24 hours. They'll get out your face. You just can't be so blinded by what's happening on the sides of the yellow brick road that you don't get down. So this was Uprising number 7. And I'll know the name of it as soon as I get done with this video. Have a good day, guys.